Welcome. I'm Parker Flom, the Assistant Director of Study Away in the Global Learning Office here at Concordia. This presentation, Explore Study Away 101, is for Concordia students who want to start exploring off-campus and study away opportunities here. I'm really glad you're here. Are you ready to learn how you can learn, work, and lead off-campus and away? Let's get started. This presentation is meant to provide you with a good foundation on these topics. Basically, the reasons why one should study away, the advising and application process to do so, the types of off-campus and study away programs that we offer here, and what is a good fit for you, finances and off-campus credit, and getting started, basically what the application process will look like. So let's dive in. First, let's talk about why you should consider studying away. Do you know the percentage of college graduates who have some kind of off-campus or international experience? 10%. That's pretty low. At Concordia, we're a little bit higher than that, so that's good. But basically, studying off-campus is really going to set you apart for whatever you plan to do in the future. Get a job, go to graduate school. Research shows that employers really want the types of skills that you can gain from going off-campus or abroad. Skills like empathy, emotional intelligence, adaptability, working with colleagues from different backgrounds and cultures. We also know that students find their away experience immensely rewarding for their personal development and professional success. I know I did when I went abroad. Forbes magazine recently publicized the top 10 skills for 2020. And among them were things like adaptability, emotional intelligence, creativity, collaboration, and cultural intelligence. All of these are skills that can be gained from going away off campus. We also know that our modern world is becoming increasingly interconnected, globalized, complex, and quickly moving, require a global experience and perspective to succeed in that type of world. Concordia College is committed to the importance of global learning and study away. We want to create access for every Concordia student to have a study away or other international or global experience. We send a lot of students away, and we have for a long time. But we also know that the choice of an off-campus experience can be overwhelming. We have dozens of programs in dozens of different countries, and all of these vary by program type or structure. So where do you start? Let's talk about that. The Explorer checklist is a great place to start, and I'll show you where that is on our website in a moment. It has prompts to help guide you through thinking about what your options are, what type of experience you're really looking for, and to find a good fit for you. Let's talk about the journey or flow of preparing to go off campus or away. We have this nice infographic here and on our website, which will walk you through the 4-step process of doing so. Step 1, you'll navigate to our website, which we will do in a moment together, to the Get Started page and watch this video. See, you're on your way already. Next, step 2, you'll meet with a global learning peer advisor to hear a student perspective about studying off campus and to learn more about the process. Between step 2 and step 3, around that time, we suggest you touch base with your academic advisor to make sure that you stay on track with your degree plan and graduation requirements. Step 3, you'll meet with me or another study away advisor to learn more about specific programs that you are interested in and specific topics like finances, credit, and courses, applying for visas, buying flights, and much else. And finally, step 4, you'll apply to the program or programs of your choice. Pretty straightforward. So when do you have to apply by? Well, each program will have slightly different processes, timelines, and deadlines, which you can see here underneath the red arrow. You'll find this chart on our website if you forget the details. Don't forget that you can start exploring at any time. In fact, we suggest that students start exploring during their freshman year, even their first semester, to see how a study away experience can fit into their academic goals. Usually, students start an application a year before their programs begin. Okay, let's dive a bit deeper into some of these different program types. The first program type to talk about is called semester or academic year programs. These are direct partnerships we have with foreign institutions or colleges. So Concordia students go there as an international student and take classes with the student body. Sometimes these partners also send their students to us, which is why you may have met some exchange students on campus. For most programs, for all intents and purposes, you'll be like a normal student there among the student body, taking classes, engaging with on-campus culture. On some programs, there might be a handful of Concordia students there with you, or you might be alone. On some programs, there might be a big cohort of international or American students, and some that cohort might be a bit smaller. So it does vary. We have more than 40 programs offered all over the world in this type, so there's a lot of choice. And different institutions generally offer different kinds of classes in different departments and majors, but don't worry if you don't speak a second language. They all offer some classes in English. You will get Concordia credit for these classes on your transcript and meet your degree or graduation requirements. We'll talk more about that later. The next type to talk about is called faculty-led programs, which are also sometimes called short-term programs because they're usually less than a semester in length. These are Concordia programs led by Concordia faculty with other Concordia students on them. Usually they're either credit-bearing, so a Concordia class is taught, or they're connected to a class on campus. These can be week-long programs in fall or spring interim, which are called exploration seminars, or May programs held during the summer, usually in May, sometimes into June, which include a couple of different models like May seminars, portal seminars, and world work seminars. The final program to talk about are called solo seminars, which occur in summer. And they can be a range of programmatic types from internship to research to individualized study plans, student teaching, and volunteer opportunities. All of these program types are generally financial aid eligible. So if you receive financial aid at Concordia, it will travel with you on these programs. This is true for semester, academic year, faculty-led programs that are connected to a course on Concordia or that are credit-bearing. You'll need to talk to the Office of Financial Aid to see how your exact package will work out with these programs. The two main buckets of questions that we get for Study Away fall into either funding or credit. These questions often fall in line with the biggest myths about Study Away, namely that it's too expensive and unaffordable, and that it will delay graduation. Neither of these is true, as long as you do your homework. Can you afford to study away? The short answer is yes. Many to most students can afford an off-campus experience. There are a lot of differently priced programs, and there's a lot of sources of funding. And as for credit, yes, you will be able to get relevant credit off campus for your degree and graduation requirements. So let's dive a little bit deeper into a budget. Here's an example budget from one of our semester programs. When you look at a budget and finances of any program, it's imperative that you keep in mind the real cost of studying away. That is the difference between the term staying here at Concordia Moorhead and the cost of a term off campus. So think not only of tuition, room and board, and other school fees, but also the day-to-day expenses like transportation, cell phone, extra food and drinks, outings, trips, gas, insurance, and the rest of those types of things. Because sometimes students get sticker shock in looking at a certain off-campus program because they are usually all-inclusive, meaning they include all or almost all of the total normal expenses that a student will have to go away. So when I talk about real cost, I really talk about comparing the true cost of staying here on campus compared to the true cost of going away. How these budgets break down is that there are fixed costs like those on the top of this budget, which really don't change student to student and are related to the academic and programmatic elements of the off-campus program. And then there are your variable costs that you'll see in the middle and at the bottom, which really depend on your personal spending habits and the situation. We often estimate the higher end for these costs. So it may be that you can find them cheaper, depending again on your context and spending habits. The takeaway here is that study away experiences really vary by cost. Sometimes basically the same cost to go away as to stay here on campus, sometimes a bit cheaper, and sometimes a little bit more expensive. At this point, we're going to go to our website to explain some of the resources available to you as you begin your exploration and perhaps your application process. And we will use this time to also discuss that second big question related to credit off campus. So direct your browser to global.core.edu. On this landing page, you'll have several avenues to start exploring. First off, if you're new to study away, just getting started in your process of exploration, or working through the advisement application stages, you'll click the Get Started button on the left-hand side. I highly suggest you read through this Get Started page and all the resources here, including the video, the infographic, and steps about advising, exploring programs, the Study Abroad portal, and much else. You can find up here the Explore checklist under Advising. That's that document I mentioned, which should help guide you through selecting a good fit program for you. At the bottom of each of these pages, you're going to see a link to the next page. So let's look at preparations. You'll see academic, financial, and travel preparations. You'll see all of our deadlines, including explanations about some of the programs. And you'll also see information about finances, financial aid, and funding the cost of your program, and much else. You can also find a lot of these resources up here at the hamburger menu at the top of your screen. There's all of those. And then lots of resources about student, faculty, and parents. Okay, now let's take a look at the program pages. Starting from your landing screen, there's two ways you can look at programs. You can click this link here in the top right-hand side, and that will take you to Program Discovery, which looks like this. This is basically a keyword linked search function. So it will find different programs that match some of the keywords you input. The other way you can find programs is scrolling down, and you'll see the different program types here. Let's go into semester. Here are the semester programs, the full list of the 40 plus programs that we hold. Let's click on the Lorenzo de' Medici Institute, which is in Florence, Italy. This is the program brochure page. So on here will be a wealth of information about the program, including an Apply Now button when you're ready to apply. And this includes program snapshot, terms and eligibility, dates and deadlines. There'll be some promotional materials like videos and photographs, information about the place, a map. There'll be academics and student life, including housing, and some information about the costs. Let's go in now to these two links. First, let's look at the Transfer Notebook. Transfer Notebook is a compilation of all of the courses that past Concordia students have taken at this institution. You'll see the course they took on the left-hand side here, and the course that it came back for them as Concordia credit on the right. There's two main misunderstandings about this resource. The first thing is this is not a complete list of the courses offered by the institution. I'll show you that in a moment. And the second misunderstanding is that although a lot of this credit seems to appear to come back as elective credit, it might actually have come back as minor or major credit, but our system doesn't always capture that. So sometimes when you see certain credit coming back as credit, you could have some flexibility there. So let's also look at how to find the true list of courses offered by the institution. You'll always see a link up here that will take you to the institution's website. That's where you'll want to look for courses. So here at Lorenzo de' Medici, they have a pretty user-friendly interface to look at their departments and courses and programs. Not every institution is going to be as user-friendly, and so it does require sometimes a little bit of digging. It can be a frustrating process, and I can be here to help. Here on their website, let's click School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, and then you'll see the different departments. Let's just click into history, for example. This will take you to the list of courses that they have in history at their two campuses. If you click into one of these, it'll give you a description. Sometimes you can find a syllabi, or you can request info and get additional information. If you need help with that, just let me know. Let's take a look at another example, the UK Liverpool Hope University page. Again, you're going to find all of the necessary information on here to guide your decision-making and find a good fit. Similarly, it will have its own transfer notebook and the institution website for courses. So here you can see quite a few classes on this transfer notebook. That means that probably quite a few Concordia students have attended here. And then on their website, you're going to see again kind of the different subject areas and departments, programs, and classes. Just know that that terminology does vary between country to country and institution by institution. So you may see a difference between what some institutions call a program or a department or a course or a class or a major. The other main thing to note as we look at these course lists is that it does vary country to country, institution to institution about credit count. So generally speaking, European credit is worth half as much as American or Concordia credit. So what you need to do when you see something is divide by 2. So for instance, a European class at 30 credits is actually worth 15 American credits. Converting UK credit to American, usually divide by 4. So a 16 credit class thus becomes a 4 credit class back home. Other countries and institutions do vary, so if you have any questions, just let me know. The bottom line to all this is that you can get relevant off-campus credit for your major, minor, or graduation requirement. There's a lot of options for you. It will come back as Concordia credit in most instances, and depending on the situation, it will come back as pass-fail or GPA influencing letter grades. So that's it. That's our presentation. We're excited about you taking the first step on your journey off campus on a study away or broad program that meets your needs, enables you to gain a global or broader perspective, and sets you apart in your working career. And we're here to support you on that journey. Thank you.